love to bring in our guest, Michael Jaafar, because Michael, now that we Michael Ayala, now that we watch that and see her go in front and then kind of wait and pick her up again, and now we see after paying for the groceries, the victim is leaving, and there she goes following her out. It just looks like she tracked her. Michael Jaafar, tell us your thoughts. Does it look to you like she's purposefully tracking and following the victim?
It does not look to me like she's stalking the victim. It does not look to me like she's tracking the victim. It looks to me like she's having some sort of a break from reality. What we're watching is sinister and evil, but I think the fact that she walked ahead does bode in favor of the defense theory that this person did not appreciate the wrongfulness of what she did.
But Mike, she actually goes ahead of them. She's ready to go out that door. She stops, turns around, looks back and sees the woman going in a different direction and goes and follows in that direction. I'm not sure how you're seeing that as being sort of aimless activity.
So no, I don't think it's aimless activity. I think that this woman had a break from delusion because when she didn't bump into her inside the grocery mart, the victim and her son moved out of the way, and then she just turned around and just followed them, and then she walked ahead, and then when she turned around, if they were not walking out of the grocery store, I believe she might have just stabbed somebody else. This woman had a clear break from reality.
Hang on one second, Michael. I'm only interrupting you because I want viewers to understand. On the left, the woman in black is the defendant who was walking along the cars. You can see down where the attack is happening, Michael Ayala.
Yes, we're showing you the parking lot now, and you can see sort of a little scuffle there going.
So she walked through the cars, and there Julian and the mother are with the buggy and walking down that middle aisle in between the cars, and then you can see Bianca Ellis, the defendant, coming back around, Michael.
Yeah, and walking much further behind her than I initially thought, because I said, well, was she 5 feet behind her? How close were we? She was actually pretty far behind her, and then I guess speeds up and gets to her. Now, right now, that's where the actual attack is happening, up in that sort of upper center of the screen there.
And you can see that the mother has grabbed Julian. She's now on the ground. It happened so quick, Michael. The witnesses have said that, but it's a whole different thing to actually see a video of it. And I do not see that it says it's twice the speed, which it was previously. I think this is now normal speed. That was quick.
Yeah, Mike, earlier we saw parts of this video. The earlier part where she's kind of walking, etc., walking from the police station to the thrift store, it seems speeded up, and I would imagine the defense would have had to have agreed to that. Do you agree, and would you have agreed? I mean, would you have agreed to let them speed it up?
I would not have agreed to let them speed it up. And I know they agreed to it. I think that is very bad form. I think that if your theory is that this woman, because their theory is she was still holding the knife when the police showed up, so she clearly did not appreciate the wrongfulness of what she did. Speeding it up shows that it's more deliberate than if, let's say it was slowed down to half the size. It would not, half the speed, it would not have looked as deliberate as it ended up looking at when it was sped up. So that's what I would have done.
And now we're watching as witnesses who have testified about what happened are coming to her aid, are coming to help, are seeing what happened. You can't even, it happened so quickly, but then it felt like it became chaotic quickly because of the number of people responding. That's a good thing, they were responding, but you can see now why the officers say it was chaotic when they got there.
Yeah, no, this sorry, Michael. Sorry.
Go ahead, Michael.
No, yeah, this would have caught everybody by surprise, right? Who would think that in if you're a juror and you're sitting, we ask our jurors for a lot. Now we're asking them to look at this camera. Every single juror member has been to a grocery store. They've probably been I've been at that grocery store. So they're thinking to themselves, how could I have defended myself? Somebody walked up to me or a loved one when I was putting my groceries in the trunk, right? That's what they're thinking, and that it would shiver you down to your spine.
You see how quickly the police responded. They're there, you know, what, 5 minutes after it happened, less than that, because, again, that police station is across the street. And, Mike, I would imagine the defense plans to, I know I would use this video during the testimony of my expert to explain what might have been going on in the head of this woman throughout her sort of travels from the police station into the thrift store, into the grocery store, and into the parking lot.
Michael, the defense attorney linked the events exactly the way you just laid it out in his opening statement. He did it for me in the way he linked the events. He linked it exactly the way you said. And the one additional thing he said was she stayed there when the police showed up. She did not run away, and she was still holding the knife when the police apprehended her. So he linked it exactly the way you just did. So yes, I do agree. That is their theory of the defense.
It's like she just couldn't control herself, and she was triggered by maybe the things that happened earlier at the police station. She couldn't get her property back. She needed the money so she could have a place to stay. Maybe because the mother swerved around her. We don't know. We likely will never know. But I think it's a fine line, Michael Jaafar, for a jury to have to decide if it was she was maybe schizophrenic, not on her meds, severe mental health issues, versus and also could not appreciate the wrongfulness of what she did.
Yeah. Judge Ashley, I've advised many attorneys in this scenario because I myself have been a defense attorney in this scenario. I would have told them to waive the jury. This is too esoteric of an analysis. It's too academic to expect a local plumber or a community member to do. You should waive it and have a grizzled veteran judge make this esoteric academic analysis, because the judge would fear being reversed on appeal if the judge made an incorrect ruling on the facts. So a jury would not fear that a judge would. They should have waived the jury. This is too they knew the evidence they were going into this case with. They knew that a jury in Cleveland, Ohio would never check a box that said not guilty. Doesn't matter that it says by reason of insanity. We all know that that means the same thing. A jury in Cleveland, Ohio is just not going to check a box that says not guilty when they see this video.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, Mike, that's where I was going. I was going to say yes or no, true or false. This video raises the bar for the defense and what they have to do with their expert. Because, again, I think this video, just watching it, and I know you talked about her looking aimless, etc. I kind of interpret it a little differently. I think it makes it harder for the defense when they begin their case.
I do. Listen. It's always going to make it hard. You want, as a defense, you want to have a video of your client taking the knife, stabbing a wall, then moving 2 feet to the right, stabbing a couch, then moving 2 feet to the right and stabbing a human being. You don't want that to happen. But if you're defending that case, that would fit right in line with the theory. Any type of move of any type of intent obviously cuts against your theory as a defense attorney.
And so let's talk about what we're seeing now. It doesn't look like we're seeing things that may be significant elements to the state's case. I mean, we're looking still at the law enforcement response to them treating the victim, Julian, knowing also that Margot, the mother, was stabbed. We're seeing that continue. You just saw one police car speed off to the left. So you are seeing the aftermath of the actual incident. But Michael Jaafar, tell us about the fact that you can't just show bits and pieces. If you're going to do this, you have to show it all.
You have to show it all. You have to show the context of it all, right? And you're the defense. You're in your case. You in his opening statement, the defense attorney linked in. He said that she was still there when she was apprehended. She was still holding the knife. So you got to show the whole entire thing from beginning to end. It's painful. It's jarring. But at the end of the day, the jury already knows that your client stabbed a 3-year-old. They already know that the child died. So why would you want to just show bits and pieces of the video, show the whole entire thing? You might have a small shot at getting this Cleveland, Ohio jury to say not guilty by reason of insanity. You got to show the whole thing.
All right, so this is coming to the end of the video. They sat through this video watching the travels of Bianca Ellis that day leading up to this stabbing. They didn't go into the body cam video where she's picked up. They were sticking with the surveillance video from the area. And again, in watching it, I think it makes the defense's job even harder.
I think it does too. But to your point, if they use that with their expert, that could benefit their case. We just don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't. Folks, before we go back to court, I want to bring back in our guest for this hour. Still with us, National Trial Attorney Michael Jaafar. Michael, quickly, I want to get your impressions of the cross-examination thus far. Seems like they're just basically highlighting, at least up to the beginning part, some of the problems in the past of this defendant.
Yeah, I like the cross-examination path in this defendant. And this defense attorney clearly knows what he's doing with cross-examination. There have been some witnesses in this case where he didn't even cross-examine. He just didn't ask any questions. I think that he's taken the demeanor he needs to take, because at the end of the day, this is a very grotesque decision that he's going to ask the jurors to make in favor of his client.
And he's absolutely getting into evidence that the police knew of her issues prior to any of this began. Let me ask you this quickly. With that witness, they showed the entire 20-minute video of her, and then they went back through it piece by piece to answer questions by the detective about what we were seeing. I was surprised to see it played twice. Michael was not. What are your thoughts?
You know what? I'm a little bit agnostic on that, because at the end of the day, this is their case. This is their entire case, is the timeline of what happened that day and what set her off. So I think that they wanted to belabor the point. But at the end of the day, it could go both ways.
All right. Let's head back to court now.